Babylon Project. The Babylon Project was a development of the Earth Alliance that began in 2248, shortly after the resolution of the Earth-Minbari War. The project's goal was to prevent future wars by providing humans and aliens neutral territory to settle their differences peacefully. The first 4 Babylon stations ended in disaster during construction or shortly after coming online. The 5th attempt, Babylon 5, came online in 2256. The cost of bringing Babylon 5 into service was enormous, but the station met and far exceeded its initial goal over the next 24 years. History. The Babylon project began in 2248 after the resolution of the Earth-Minbari War, the war itself being the inspiration for the project's foundations. Babylons 1 through 3 were all destroyed during their construction by acts of sabotage. Finally, Babylon 4 was constructed and brought online in 2254, then disappeared a mere 24 hours later. The last of the Babylon stations, Babylon 5, was constructed and placed into orbit around Epsilon 3, thanks to substantial assistance from the Centauri Republic as well as the Minbari Federation, who suddenly became interested in the project for undisclosed reasons. The station came online in 2256 and ultimately served its purpose through frequent diplomatic engagements, first contact situations, ongoing trade, and key roles in several military conflicts. The New Interstellar Alliance was arguably the most enduring legacy of the Babylon project. After Babylon 5 was decommissioned and scuttled in 2281, the Earth Alliance ended the project permanently, satisfied that it had fulfilled its purpose. The Babylon Stations. The Babylon Station. The Babylon Station was the first space station built by the Earth Alliance under the aegis of the Babylon project. During construction, the Babylon Station's infrastructure collapsed and exploded as a result of sabotage. Construction worker Thomas Jordan had just left the station. Part of its materials were recycled to construct Babylon 2. Babylon 2. The second attempted station in the Babylon project, Babylon 2 was also sabotaged and destroyed, exploding during construction. Materials that survived the station's destruction were used in the construction of Babylon 3. Babylon 3. Like the previous 2 stations, Babylon 3 was also sabotaged and destroyed, exploding during construction. As they had been on the previous station, leftover materials were used in the construction of Babylon 4. Babylon 4. The biggest of all of the Babylon stations, Babylon 4 was fully mobile and had dual rotating sections that rotated in the opposite direction relative to each other, allowing the station to conduct stable flight in space and not needing to reside in planetary orbit. Constructed in 2254, Babylon 4 disappeared 24 hours after it became operational. Babylon 5. Babylon 5 was the final Babylon station constructed, with substantial assistance from the Centauri and Minbari governments. It was the smallest of the Babylon stations, utilizing what parts and components were left over after the initial construction attempts.